G'day, mate, and welcome to Friday Facts number 436, Lost in Translation. And I have my good friend who is probably lost and probably being translated because he does speak Australian. How you doing, Mojo?
Hello.
Hey, this is an interesting Friday Facts, mainly because the first line of the Friday Facts keeps changing all the time.
Yep. I said hello because it just popped up hello for me.
Oh, I did, because we've already worked out that what I see and what you see is very different, and they change all the time. And yeah, it's interesting. So,
Hola.
yeah.
Hola.
Okay. Hello, Mojo. All right.
Hi.
So, they're working on... No. I'm waiting for it to say g'day, mate. Is it going to say g'day, mate? I don't think it's going to say g'day, mate. All right. So...
I don't think you get like that lucky.
No. And you were meant to edit the source code for me. It didn't happen. All right. Next Friday Facts. Anyway. So, they're working away on bug reports, which is good. I've seen a number of, updates, patches, blah, 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 with different things being fixed. But they're working on an IME keyboard Asian language bug introduced by the 2.0 update. Now, got curious and started exploring localizations for various languages. Even though, and this is Harusa,
yes.
who's been there for a while from memory.
Yeah, just someone who's in the background just getting things done.
Yeah,
and making interesting posters as well.
Okay, posters. What do you mean posters?
Do you remember the
giant one they had at a Thingamajiggy conference?
Yes, the Thingamajiggy.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. He's been there since like 1.0 days prior to. Because the giant poster thing was prior to 1.0. Yes. So, giant poster thing we're talking about. They were at, it was a gaming developer conference thing in Europe, I don't know, prior to 1.0, so several years ago now. And they made one of those giant pop-up posters that's like, 3 foot wide, 4 foot wide, and like 6 foot tall of, I believe it was V's base. Because he has the right amount of spaghetti. Just absolutely everything is built on top of one another.
Those pop-up posters you'd have at trade shows.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, and it is available in the press pack, actually. It's there now if you want to go look at it, because I've actually used it for different thumbnails, because it is just a mess of Factorio. It is a wonderful, artful mess of Factorio. But yes, okay, so... sidetracked already. That's a record. No, I actually wouldn't even say it's a record. Anyway, so they were trying to...
close.
No, not even close. Okay, so exploring localizations for various languages, and even though his native language is Czech, all the development on the game happens in English, so I essentially never run the game in this mode. As I was twiddling around the Czech crafting menu, quickly came to light the user experience wasn't as smooth as I would expect. Any capital non-English letter would cause troubles. Looking up, I can't pronounce that, yields something else, being a pump jack, and something else, an offshore pump, but not a pump, due to the capital C not matching the lowercase c. Players already developed a habit of typing stuff like ump in order to avoid the troublesome letters altogether. And this is due to, games and being designed to search in English and not other languages terribly well. So, it was a terrible user experience. Took it upon myself to address it as quickly as possible. The root of the issue was, up until now, they searched by casting each code letter to lowercase via a standard function. However, internally, in Unicode representation, any letter with accents or outside the Latin alphabet takes up multiple code letters and therefore wasn't recognized or converted at all. I don't understand that line. Multiple code letters.
So Unicode... standard characters are only 8-bit, and Unicode is 16-bit or more. So the extended Unicode is wider.
So they represent 2 letters, and therefore it's not calculating correctly, and therefore something gets broken. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun things you can do where there are like visually duplicate letters with different codes. And you can do some fun things with that, where you can... It's actually a thing that scammers do with websites, where they put like a period, a dot in, which is actually not a dot or something like that.
Yeah. I've got emails from people that, yes, it looks like a legitimate web page. It looks like the legitimate URL. But if you actually stop and look at it, it's like swapping out an O for a 0, except much, much, much more subtle.
I think there was a duplicate K as well.
There's been a
from
number
memory.
of them that are just, yeah, they're just a weird Unicode version that looks almost identical, but not quite. Actually, for Twitch, so Twitch, when you stream on Twitch, you can only use the standard font, but you can use Unicode letters to have slightly different fonts for your stream title. And I've used that a number of times by, going into one of these magic font generators that just gives me those letters that I've typed in as weirder Unicode letters, just so it's a little bit more custom, a little bit more different. Just stand out
And
from
then
the
you get the
crowd.
people that apply rotated characters, so it goes down instead of
Yeah.
left to right.
Yeah, there are some really stupid things that people do sometimes, then it just breaks showing up in Twitch and all sorts of things, and they wonder why it doesn't work. Anyway, Unicode letters are quite a mess since the table has grown gradually over the years. Many letters are scattered all over. Out-of-the-box solutions are usually bloated to accommodate edge cases, and many scripts and languages can't even render in Factorio, like hieroglyphics, Sumerian cuneiform, and emoji. So his solution was to write his own custom mapping focused on languages we officially support, which is, there's actually a long list. Factorio has been translated by the community into many, many languages. And since we're at it with a custom solution, that may further tailor search hits to how people type in everyday life. Accented letters equivalent to not accented letters. So iron plate equals iron plate equals iron plate, which is probably good for those that are typing with weird and wonderful letters that I can't type on my keyboard at the best of times. The two Japanese kana alphabets are now equivalent in search, and the two lowercase sigmas in Greek both match the capital sigma, which again, I don't know, I play the game in English and I can't type half the time. Yep. So, new localization search improvements were released in the updating 2.016.
Mathematicians be excited.
Huh? Mathematicians be what?
Mathematicians be excited with the sigma equals sigma equals sigma.
Oh, yeah. Well, with what people do with combinators, if you can start adding Greek letters and stuff, and therefore can sort of start doing, maybe somebody's going to write, like, the answer to the question of the universe in Factorio, in combinators, using some of these letters. I don't know. But it's now in 2.16, which means, as we mentioned last week, and actually as devs mentioned last week, you should look at the experimentals. I keep having people trying to join our community server, and they're not on the experimental version, and they say, I can't find it, and I spent 5 seconds looking, and then I just assume the server was shut down. I was like, no, the server runs all the time. It's just on the experimental version. You just got to update. So, yeah,
There's no reason not to use the experimental.
Well, there is once in a blue moon, like we mentioned last week. It does happen, but it's fixed within hours. So, here's what I'd like to hear from you. If there's any other useful search features that you find missing from a supported language, please let me know on the forums or as a response to this article. Try to consult these features with our translators ahead of time. I only reach so many native speakers myself. It's also possible that some visually similar accents got omitted by accident. So besides the in-game search, the mod portal also got some improvements, which is very good. And if you wish to contribute to the translations, you can do so via the Crowdin project, which I've actually known that the Czech translation for the game is not very good for quite some time. I've had a couple of people in the community.
It's been that way for a long time.
Yeah, I've got a couple of people in the community that are native Czech speakers and they play the game in Czech. And yeah, they do English perfectly fine, but they're not happy with the translations a lot of times. And I've said, you go there and you can submit the, translation fixes and they get approved and then applied every now and then. But I was always shocked when they said that the Czech translations were not good because, yes, if you go to the Crowdin, you could see that there is many languages. But like we mentioned, the devs, they're all Czech. Well, majority of them are Czech. So they all speak Czech. All right,
Yeah, you would have thought that they'd be keeping it up, but no.
I just assumed that they're just like, okay, well, we've just added 30 new items to the game or whatever. I'm just going to translate all these in one hit, right? Like, it just ends up being somebody's job, so it's just done. And that way, when it's, it goes in the final version, it's part of the base game that's, written in English and it's perfect in English and also Czech at the same time. But turns out, no, it's 100% translated now. From memory, I don't know, last time I looked, it was like 50%, 40%. But yeah, it's only got 45% approval factor so far. So the devs need to go through and approve their own translations, which I'm pretty sure somebody could do very quickly by going, Yeah, that works. Yeah, it's weird. There are definitely some languages that are just really not supported currently, but they're getting there. Icelandic has got a while to go. Irish, okay.
Sadly, we'll never see the Sumerian translation.
Or the emoji one. That could have been great.
Or Factorio emoji.
There is an emoji.
It's 10 times better than Factorio wingdings.
No, there was an emoji Factorio mod.
Okay.
There was an emoji Factorio mod. I have no idea if it's been updated to 2.0. I haven't really looked for mods for 2.0 yet. But I remember they couldn't put names for items as the emoji, so they had to use the images that we put in. I can't remember. You put into like a train station. What do they call that?
Oh, the rich text icons.
That's it. Rich text icons for a lot of the item names, but still had to have some sort of text. So they ended up putting, rich text icon plus the item name for a lot of cases. But very, very stupid a mod. Very, very ridiculous. It was very good if you wanted to play Factorio from scratch without changing any of the base game, just changing every recipe to gibberish plus gibberish equals gibberish, because that's pretty much how it went. Yeah. So very, very short Friday Facts. Nothing really much to add apart from translations getting improved. Excellent. Hopefully by next week, we'll go look at the Crowdin translations and check will be 100%. But that brings us to the question of next week. Mojo, predictions.
I'm wondering if we'll get a summary of bug fixes.
Oh, I didn't think that. Okay.
And how the bug's been... I mean, we sort of got one already, but I'm pretty sure we got a post-mortem a little while after 1.0 as well.
Yeah, maybe.
Although, having said that, it is a bit more like they are a bit more sensitive to it after that time where they said, yeah, we're still fixing a few bugs as we're coming up to release, and it was very poorly misinterpreted.
It was like 300 or something. It was the same as what we had for Space Age. And then a couple of people went to press with, Factorio 1.1, headlines. Factorio 1.0 releases with a ton of bugs. And they didn't write that it was 300, and they were very, very, very minor bugs. Very, very minor bugs. We're talking like Factorio scale of, there was a Z height clipping distance issue if you were in a mech suit and you were flying over over a rocket silo. The very, very tip of the rocket silo would sit above the character. That was a bug that was fixed.
There's been a lot of graphical clipping layering errors that have been fixed.
And that is a bug according to Woob, and that is a bug that they will track, and that is a bug that will fix. And that is part of your 300 current bug reports or whatever. Whereas most of the devs would be like, yeah, not going to happen. Just don't fly over that. All right, it's a 1 in a million. And yeah, I admit, it happened by mistake, and then because it happened by mistake, I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And then went parked and had that part of the top of the rocket silo become the mech's head, because of course I did, for just half a second. Yep.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see 1.1 or future plans yet. I think they're still very much focused on cleaning up the 2.0 release.
Yeah, I think they are too. I know we just had a couple of, it would have been a week ago now, we had a Wi-Fi bug that was introduced with the asteroid grabbers. As far as I know, that's been fixed already. It just happened to happen when I was doing the pod race thing, so we had ships that were being built very quickly and then try to run very quickly, and sometimes the Wi-Fi on the asteroid collectors was a little bit low, so they didn't work terribly well. But in theory, that's been fixed. I haven't seen it since, so yeah.
I like it when asteroid collectors they get stuck with that icon saying computing area.
Yeah, that's the Wi-Fi. It was bad Wi-Fi.
Oh, that's a Wi-Fi bug.
Yeah, it's bad Wi-Fi.
They call it the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it looks exactly like the Wi-Fi symbol. Yeah, it's bad Wi-Fi. It was something that was introduced in 14, which they released like a day prior to us doing the race. And yeah, it was some error that was happening when they first put down and calculating. The way to fix it was put down, either remove it and put it back, or put a single piece of foundation beside it, so that forced it recalculate.
Yeah, that's
and then
what
it'd be
I was
like,
doing
fine.
to fix it.
Yeah. But
They still sometimes fail to grab stuff. Like they go and it's just like, there, I got it.
Yeah, I think that's intentional. It feels intentional
Yeah,
that they have a
maybe.
miss rate. I don't know. So you're thinking maybe we're gonna have a breakdown of how the bugs are going, how the bugs are going, and how many are left, and that sort
Yeah,
of stuff.
possibly. I mean, my only hesitation is that we did have one of
Bad
those
press.
recently already.
Yeah. I don't
I don't
know.
remember how long ago though.
I don't know.
Is when I go look it up and it's like actually like a week ago or something.
Oh, actually, okay. I got my prediction in. It's gonna be a breakdown of the release, a further breakdown, and sales, because it's been about a month, almost a month by the time we come up. No, maybe it's gonna get pushed to the week after. I don't know. All right, I'm out of predictions as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe sales. Maybe we'll talk about that. Yeah, it was actually last week that we had the crashes by window average.
Yeah, it's been really recent. Yeah, I don't know. I'm out of predictions for next week. All right, we're gonna leave this video here. Anything else you want to add, Mojo?
Nope, that's it.
That's it. All right, fine. We're gonna call it here. As always,
You
thank you guys so much.
said hello.
Yep. All right, that's it. We're out. Thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. We'll see you in the very next week with some more Friday Facts. All right, bye.
Bye bye.